Hello everyone, my name is Anna. Welcome to Cactus Caffeine. In this channel, I share with you my passion for growing cactus and other desert plants over a cup of coffee. Today, I will be repotting my two old man cactus. These are both old men of the Andes. So in the garden centers or in nursery stores, if you say old man cactus, there's several types of columnar cactus that are called old man. So one of them is in the genus Oreocereus, which these two, both of them belong to, and also the Cephalocereus can also be called old man. And then there's also the Espostoa. Oh, I have an Espostoa actually here. I can show you guys. So over there in my garden, the white one there, the columnar white one there in the middle of your screen, that is an Espostoa lanata, and it can also be called an old man cactus. But if we say old man of the Andes, it is these two cactus right here. So the one on the left is the old man of the Andes called Oreocereus trolli, and the one on the right is Oreocereus. That's a tongue twister. Oreocereus celsianus. These two columnar cacti originated from the Andes Mountains of Bolivia, Peru, and Argentina, hence the name Old Man of the Andes. As you can see, they both have very long and very sharp spines, and they are also covered by hair or wool, this white thing, fluffy thing, and this serves as protection for them. As I've said, they originated from the mountains, so first purpose of this woolly structure is to protect them from frost or from cold temperatures, and likewise it also helps protect them from extreme ultraviolet rays since they grow up high in the mountains. I've had these cacti for about 6 or 7 years now, so I got them around the same time. When I first bought them, they were small, maybe 4 inches or about the size of these offsets right here. So after 6 or 7 years, they've now grown this much. They are now more than a foot tall each. Now it's pretty hard to distinguish which one is trolli and which one is celsianus when they're both little, but as they grow you will be able to tell the difference better. So the trolli has more denser wool or hair. As you can see here, you can hardly see the body compared to the celsianus, so that's how you can tell them apart. The celsianus has less dense hair compared to the trolli. But again, if you're going to buy them young, it is a little bit hard to distinguish which is which. Now, be careful though, because both of them need high amount of sunlight. So if you don't expose them to enough sunlight, the less hair also, or the less wool they will develop. So you might think you have a celsianus when actually it is just a trolli that's needing more sun. So sunlight also helps them produce those thicker wool, and as well as colder temperatures. But these two, they always live side by side. I've been growing them always in the same spot, so they receive the same amount of sunlight, the same temperature, the same conditions. And now that they're more mature, you can easily tell which one is which. So this is trolli and this one is celsianus. Another way that you can tell them apart is in the way they grow. Although this one, they have to be a little bit more mature for you to observe their growth habit. So the trolli actually, as it matures, it has a tendency to bend. So this one, the celsianus, it is more upright. As you can see, this one, I actually keep rotating this pot just to make this tall columnar cactus here grow upright. But if I were just to leave this in one spot, I'm sure this would have been more bent. But this one, as you can see, the celsianus is more upright. So that is one way again to tell them apart, is in their growth habit. They actually look okay now in their current pots, but then the reason that I am repotting this is because they have become too heavy for their pots. So especially here in the desert, we get very high winds and they easily get knocked over by the wind. This pot is actually plastic, so especially this one, when we get high winds, this easily gets knocked down. And also I have a dog, and whenever my dog brushes on the pots, he sometimes topples over the pots. So the new pot that I will be using is this one. It is a little bit bigger than the pots that they're currently in, but most importantly, this is heavy. So this is heavier. It should be able to support the weight of this columnar cactus. Looks can be deceiving. They look small, but they're actually very heavy. The challenge in repotting this cacti is how to handle this cacti without getting pricked. So as I said, this is big, heavy, and because of its long spines, it is difficult to handle it. So what I do usually with this kind of cacti is I use a cloth. So this is just an old t-shirt, for throwaway or for donation. So this is just an old shirt that I'm going to use to wrap it around this cactus to secure it and hold it. It's up to you. Some people use, I see some people use newspapers or cartons to handle it, or you can use like 2 styrofoams or foams and sandwich the cactus in here. Sometimes I do that for smaller cacti, but since this is big and heavy, I'm afraid I will just crack the styrofoam. So this is what I'm going to use, and it's easier to handle it, and I'll just tip it over like this. I have a piece of rag here for cushion because I don't want to break the spines, and then I will just give this a light tap like that and carefully pull the pot out. There you go. All right, again, this is actually my soil, so I am not going to be going bare root anymore. This is good soil, so I mixed this soil so I know what's in it. It is good. The cactus is growing well in that soil, so I'm not going to change the soil, and I'm just going to add more in this new bigger pot. For this pot that I will use, it has a very large drainage holes in there, so I will use this used fabric sheet to cover the drainage holes in there so that my soil will not go through that big drainage holes. Sometimes I use screen, but I ran out of screen, so I will be using that dryer sheet. I washed it thoroughly. I washed it very well before I used it. So I am going to use some of this soil that came in the original pot, and then I'm going to add more cactus soil into my pot as well. Whenever you are repotting your cactus, take this opportunity to inspect the soil and the roots. Make sure there are no insects, no mealybugs hiding in there before you put them in its new pot. And by the way, this soil that I am using, this is a 50-50 ratio, so 50% organic and 50% inorganic. For the inorganic portion, I usually use pumice and sand, but this is just the ratio that I use because of where I live. I live in a desert. It's always dry here and very hot during the summer, so I need soil that retains more moisture a little longer than your usual mix. So if you live in a place that is more humid, when it rains more often, make sure you put in more inorganic material than organic material. Alright, now I'm just gonna press the soil down. Make sure it's compact so that my cactus will be more stable in this pot. Okay, and I think that's it. Now we can unwrap this. Okay, now on to the next old man. One final step to do is to add some top dressing to the soil. So for this red pot, I will be using some red lava rocks. I think it will look good in this pot. Okay, since I don't have enough lava rocks or scoria, I am going to add some of the red rocks that I found in my backyard. So putting a top dressing not only makes it aesthetically more appealing, but this also helps keep the soil down when you're watering. So it prevents your soil from spilling over when you water. Then to this one with the blue pot, I am going to use this rocks. I forgot what this is called. I think it was called river rocks when I bought it from the store. So I think this would look nice in this pot. Here now are my two old men of the Andes in their new heavier pots. I would not be watering them. I would probably give them a week or maybe 2 weeks before I water these pots. When you are planting, you can't help it, roots will break, and so you would want the roots to heal first in dry soil before you introduce water to the soil. So I will give it a week, maybe 2 weeks before I water these cacti. And now it is fall. The weather is still warm actually here in Vegas, so I will still be watering them. During winter time, I actually overwinter these outside in my backyard, and they are able to handle our winter here in Vegas. When they were smaller, I would keep them in my heated greenhouse, but these past 2 years, they are able to tolerate our winter. Our winter here is usually in the 30s. It could go down as low as high 20s, high 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and these two are able to withstand that temperatures as long as I keep them dry. These cacti can actually grow 2 to 3 meters in habitat, but I am hoping that keeping them in the pot would slow down their growth process. I am not ready for a tall columnar cactus yet in my backyard. So hopefully it will take a few more years. I'm hoping for 3 or 4 more years in this pot before I would have to move them to a bigger pot. Alright, so if you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Follow me in Facebook and in Instagram. And until next time, bye guys, and cheers!